This lesson is one of the most important lessons of algebra, I would say, for the whole year. One of them. You will be shown how to solve a standard form quadratic by using one of the most powerful formulas in math. That is the quadratic formula. Remember, we have learned how to graph and change from form to form in standard form so far, but now I'm going to teach you how to solve. Now, the thing with standard form to remember, a couple things actually, is that remember our solutions, which are our answers, are going to be x-intercepts. So when you look at a graph, when you solve, just understand our solutions are x-intercepts. So again, standard form, we have y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the general form. Now, what occurs here is that there are two x's here. And we can't combine like terms here. And there's always been a problem with us throughout the year is we don't know how to solve when the variable is showing up twice. So there is a formula out there with quadratics that take care of this. But there's a really important rule to make sure you understand is that A, B, and C must be on the same side when you solve. Same side. Oh wow, same sign. Same side of equal sign. So it's really, really, really important to make sure you have everything on the same side of the equal sign before you start using the quadratic formula. Now what the quadratic formula is, and we actually, again, I went over this the last day before our break, but it is this formula. It seems intimidating at first, but it's actually not that bad, and you are eventually going to memorize it. And it's not going to be bad, trust me, because you're going to be doing a lot of questions with it. But what it is going to be the opposite of b. So the way that we say opposite of b is negative b, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4. Yes, there will always be a 4 there, no matter what. A times c all over 2 times a. Now, there always will be a 2 down there. Now, the reason why that occurs is if we do a proof of this, we actually have to use completing the square. And when we complete the square with something that looks like this, it ends up resulting in this when we need to solve it. It's a long process. There's videos out there if you really want to see where the quadratic formula comes from. I will post one too. It's just an optional video. You don't need to know. You don't need to prove it. You just have to be able to solve with it. So what you're going to have to do on the homework is remember you're going to have to solve each equation. So when you solve each equation, you have to remember the rule. A, B, and C must be on the same side of the equal sign. So if you look at this first problem, that doesn't happen. You have this 5 being on the wrong side. So what you need to do is you need to move it over. Now, you can't just move it over and say plus 5. Remember, when you have to move over a number or a term, you have to do the inverse of it. So since it's positive 5, you have to subtract 5, and what you do to one side, you must do to the other. I'm going to squeeze this in to the C spot then. Now, remember, 5 minus 5 will be 0. So what you have over here is 0. And then what you have on the left side, you're going to have negative 3x squared plus 12x, and then be minus 5. Now, this is our new equation. You get your A from it, it's negative 3. You get your B from it, which is 12. You really don't need this line here. And then you get your C, which is going to be negative 5. Now, remember, I'm going to take the quadratic formula here. So I'm just going to cut it and move it real quick. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to use a quadratic formula in this example. So here we go. Again, I got A, B, and C on one side. C is not 5. It's really important to recognize that C is negative 5. And it actually makes a huge difference in your answer. All right. But anyways, here we go. So our x-intercepts, or our solutions, I'll just say x equals, is going to be opposite of b, which is going to be negative 12, plus or minus the square root of 12 squared minus 4 times negative 3 times negative 5 all over 2 times negative 3. So where I'm going to go now, we're going to use decimals.com to help simplify this for us. So we're going to go to decimals.com. I'm not going to graph yet. I'm actually going to go to our scientific calculator. So what you got to do, you got to make sure you understand that you have to hit this fraction bar first. That's a really important first step. And then, again, I have it written down. If you need to go back and forth, that's fine. But it would be -12, and you just, put it in this calculator. Shouldn't be that hard. Make sure you have that plus sign. A lot of people forget the plus. So it'd be plus the square root of 12 squared -4 times -3 times -5 all over 2 times, what's my a? My a was -3. And then, voila, there's our answer. Now I'm going to round it. I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So my answer is going to be 0.47. Again, that is just one of my answers. So x, and again, it's not exact since I'm rounding. So again, this just means approximately. The squiggly equal sign. So it's going to be approximately 0.47. Or, so again, that's the plus version. Now I have to do the subtraction version. I'm going to put that in blue. So all you need to do is you go back to your calculator. You don't need to retype it. All you need to do is just put your cursor where that plus is. Get rid of the plus. Remember, that's not my answer. 18.33 is not my answer. I have to put minus in there. So my other answer is going to be, if I round it, is 0.52, but there's a 7 after it, so I'm going to round it up to 0.53. So it'll be 3. X will be about 3.53. So again, that's all you need to do, but you have to remember that important rule. A, B, and C must be on the same side of the equal sign. All right, 2 more examples. So again, in that case, I have 2 x-intercepts. Let's do one that might be a little bit different. So again, there is a problem in this question. A, B, and C are not on the correct, they're not on the same side. So what you need to do is you need to add 25. You have to move the 25 over before you start anything and then slide it into that C spot. So in this case, it's going to be x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. And then you go ahead and do the quadratic formula again. So again, x equals opposite of b, -10, plus or minus the square root of 10 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 1, times my c, which is 25, all over 2 times 1. Kind of my fault. I forgot to let you know a was 1 here, b was 10, c was 25. All right. And then all you need to do is just go back to your calculator. In this case, I'm going to clear out what we did last time. And I'm going to have, again, hit my fraction bar. So it'll be -10 plus the square root of 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times 25 all over 2 times 1. I get an answer of -5, so I'm going to write that down. So it's exactly -5, so I'm going to actually put a straight equal sign. I'm not rounding or anything. So this would be equals -5. And then you go back, and you're going to see what happens here. If you change that plus, again, 0 is not my answer right now, even though it will be. But I'm going to change that plus to a minus. Actually, no, 0 is not the answer. What am I saying? You change it to a minus, and your answer stays the same. In this case, it's -5. You don't need to write it twice. So if that happens, your only answer is x equals -5. In that case, there's only one x-intercept. So again, 2 x-intercepts in this case, 1 x-intercept. Well, we can predict what will happen in this problem. If you know this, you should know in your head, okay, wait, this is quadratic, it's plus 8, I'm moving up 8, so you should be able to visualize what answer this one will be. But let's say you don't recognize it. Everything's on one side here, so we're good to go. We have 0 on one side, we have our a, and in this case, our c on the left side. So in this case, a is 1. Again, that's what's in front of x squared. B is 0 because there is no linear term, and then my c here is 8. Again, if you want to think of this as x squared plus 0x plus 8, that might make more sense. All right, so I want to do this one, be x equals 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times 1 times 8 all over 2 times 1. So I'm going to go to my calculator now. So here we go, clear out what I have. So be fraction bar 0 plus the square root of 0, I should put it in parentheses, 0 squared minus 4 times 1, which was my c, times 8, put that in parentheses, all over 2 times 1. And as you can see, we're going to get undefined. So the reason why we're getting undefined is because the expression that's inside of the square root ends up being negative. So if you look here, even if I change that plus to a minus, we still get it to be undefined. So when it's undefined, we don't want to say undefined. What we say, if you say it, that's fine. I won't be mean, but it's no solution. In other words, there is no x-intercepts. So again, I showed you the 3 different type of answers you can get. You can get 1 answer, you can get no answers, you can get 2 answers. And just one last thing, I did graph these real quick for you. So if you look at number 1, remember for number 1 we got point. So if you look at the x-intercepts, this is the graph of number 1. The x-intercepts are our answers. In that case, it's around the 3 decimal places. If you look at number 2, if you look, the x-intercept there is -5. It's because the vertex is on the x-axis. That's why we get an answer of 1 solution there. And then if you look at the third one that we did, the third one is way up there, and it's going up, and it does not have any x-intercepts. So hopefully by getting those answers and by looking at these graphs, that connection is being made that, oh, wait, the solutions that we are getting, the answers that we are getting are x-intercepts. And what is really, again, what is really, really powerful about the quadratic formula, which is right here, it allows us to solve an equation with 2 x's being present. And again, that's why it's really, really powerful and really, really important to understand. So it's really important that you hopefully watch this video through and that you do your homework today. Well, I hope you enjoyed the week. Again, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Email me, remind me, or whatever way you can contact me. Please contact me. All right, thank you.